Hello everybody, it is day 7 of the Fooly Cooly 2 Premiere Countdown Pillows Discography Podcast, Deluxe, Extra Deluxe Hospitality, Reloaded, and Knuckles, a la mode, Super Alpha 2, Electric Boogaloo, A Tale of Memories. I'm joined again by George and Shem.
Yeah.
Back at it again with the Pillows albums.
Alright, normie memes from like 2015 called, and they, or 2016, meme time is weird.
What did they say?
They want to know why you dredge them up out of their shallow graves.
So, so here's what I think about that. I don't know why, and I also don't know why I made a mistake in the last episode saying that Little Busters was from '99, because it's not. It's from '98, and now we're in '99.
Don't worry, you'll get that in the comments when...
I already have.
Right.
I at this point, I already have, I think.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Time.
I'm assuming.
Right.
But we're going to get into it. So I'm going through the Pirozu forums, and I'm looking at what people are saying, and I keep seeing, like, in my search results, I keep seeing people referring to the Holy Trinity. And I'm like, okay, what could this all be about? So I keep looking, and it didn't take me long to realize, oh, okay, the Holy Trinity is Little Busters, Runner's High, and Happy Bivouac, because they're all where the Fooly Cooly soundtrack comes from. So, okay, that made a little bit more sense. And yeah, so as we get more into it, it's gonna be hard to not talk about Fooly Cooly in this episode. So we probably will. But there'll be a lot more to say, too, at the end of the podcast when we're talking about the actual Fooly Cooly soundtrack and everything. So let's get right into it with a Fooly Cooly song, actually. We have Sad Sad Kiddie. I love Sad Sad Kiddie.
Yeah, Sad Sad Kiddie was great. Just delayed feedback and then just a lot of fuzz. So keeping that standard. I thought the heavy riffs and the loud drum tracks were just kind of like in the wheelhouse for the Pillows again. Like they're just in their stride. Yeah, I said a toe tapper, real headbanger.
You're casually tapping your toe and headbanging at the same time.
It's a hard balance to find. You're either leaning to one or the other.
It's true.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't have too much to say about this one. Definitely heard it. Forgot this one. This one's in English, right?
Yeah, it's completely in English.
Every time I come up to a Pillow song that is in English, I have forgotten that it is completely in English, or never know.
It's kind of hard to find that sometimes
until you see the lyrics and you're like, oh,
yeah,
right.
It becomes a lot easier after that. I like Sad Sad Kiddie a lot. It's mainly in the 3rd episode of Fooly Cooly, I believe. It has a lot to do with Nina Mori and stuff. That's what I think is really interesting, because when you look at this album, you can actually see where the inspiration comes from in Fooly Cooly for all this type of stuff. So if you go back and kind of look at how this kind of relates to Nina Mori's character, I think you'll find a lot more depth there. But that's for a later episode. What about instant music? I really like instant music. It kind of like pairs well with Sad Sad Kiddie to me. It's kind of like these two really like rebellious tracks. And I just thought it was like, it's just so characteristic of the time too, because it's just about all this music coming out and like really just flooding the entire airwaves. That's why it's kind of talking about like, it's not actually talking about kids drowning. It's talking about like all this jank ass music coming out that isn't good. So it just really fit for me. I really like it as well.
Yeah, I was a fan of this. Also, immediately got that on the Pirozu forums, where all the translations are, it's instant music, or is the tagline of it. So finally had that put together in my head, because I did not. This is my first time listening to this song. I really liked. There was kind of a contrast to like softer music to really the bleak, especially if it's read literally, because I didn't quite know that interpretation. Very bleak outlook that the song presents has a nice contrast with the softer music, and I really like the ending of this one.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I definitely
really well.
said that the breakdown was quite the surprise when the rest of the song is pretty mellowed out. So yeah,
Makes for good scene transitions.
mm-hmm. Exactly.
That being said, I didn't love Juliet as much. I think it's really listenable, but I think you can, if you removed it, it wouldn't really ruin the album.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't feel as serviceable. Like, it's there, and it sort of adds like a third dimension to the other two tracks, but not so much in a way that is super necessary.
I thought Juliet had a good hook.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it definitely you kind of saw more outside influences with Juliet. So
I really liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I thought that it was kind of like had this drive and go to it, and I like there's a section where the singer like matches the guitar tone, and there's a little wah or whatever.
Oh yeah, true.
Whatever. I really like that. Also, like I think it's the solo where it sounds like the guitar is being played underwater. Really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Also, in the lyrics there was some cool imagery which I didn't expect out of. So like when I read the title Juliet, I was like, all right, this is boilerplate bullshit romance song, and I was like, okay, that's better. And that's something that happens with the Pillows is that they're kind of like standard love songs have stopped being so sappy and literal.
Yeah.
And they actually like are writing something. As opposed to, oh my god, I want to be with you, and that's it.
And that's kind of it. And I also dream about it. and it's raining.
and it's raining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows that they're maturing as musicians and songwriters. So it's always a great thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I'm gonna say, White Ash was kind of ruined for me because the drums sound like they were like garbage cans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just thought it was way too compressed on those drums, and like again, as I've said in previous episodes, like if the drums are not mixed well, like
But Sunny Funny Bunny Nani.
I don't know. I like
what?
this song a lot just because.
Are we talking about White Ash?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Funny Bunny is another
Funny
song.
Bunny
Yeah.
comes later, yeah.
No, I know,
But
I know.
no, there's a line in this one that goes, Sunny Funny Bunny Nani.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm all about White Ash just because I always get that pan up when you first see Commander Amaro in Fooly Cooly, where he's on his own little motorcycle Vespa thing, and it just pans up on him, and that's where it starts out. The track starts playing. The drums are not mixed well, that is true, but the drum line I love enough to listen to carry it through for the whole song.
No, I mean, I thought it had, I think, one of the most interesting guitar riffs yet that the Pillows have done, which definitely reminded me of like early Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I mean, that was cool to hear, but yeah, it just for me personally, when drums are not mixed well, it really takes a lot out of the song.
Mm-hmm. This was the song that won the the cover of it. That is the 25th anniversary Pillows contest, where people basically made a cover and made a video for it, and the winner, I guess, got to go to Japan. Like they flew them out to Tokyo, I think, for a show and to meet them as well. It's just funny because the cover of it is absolutely nothing like this song whatsoever. It's like a synth, like instrumental keyboard thing where they also put this insane filter over the vocals so that it barely sounds like vocals.
Jesus.
And the music video is perfect. It's like these two like silver cardboard box robots like walking around a town as like the band follows them. It's beautiful. I'll put the link in the description.
Okay.
It's really, really good. I was actually really surprised because I was watching a bunch of those, and you could see in the comments that they won basically just by what people were saying. And I was actually really surprised because a lot of the other ones were like really intense and cool and everything, but this one, I guess, was just the most creative. Definitely. What about No Self-Control?
I thought No Self-Control was okay. Like, again, like they're definitely going for dynamics, not even just like in songs, but for like a full album between songs. So it was nice to just kind of see that pairing of like between White Ash and No Self-Control, that it like slowed down a bit. Yeah. It was a bit more, again, like a mellow, I would even say kind of more depressing progression, at least for the rhythm guitar.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I wasn't like super keen on this one, but it was all right. I didn't specifically hate the fade out. The fade out like worked correctly. This one, and I want to make that note so that people don't think that I categorically hate songs that fade out. It's just when it's done poorly or without thinking, and this one was fine.
Yeah, I like the fade out too because the song itself was really dreamy. It was like talking about all these crazy things. And it, like, a bunch of the songs in this album keep referring to, like, we had this dream at the same time, that type of thing. So I thought it was interesting that the next song is Wake Up Frenzy. It sort of felt like it's sort of after the dream of whatever that kind of love or relationship was. So I liked it because it's sort of like, okay, well, now what do I do? That's kind of what the song was about. Wake Up Frenzy is way better, though.
Yeah, I really liked Wake Up Frenzy. It just had like it had an edge to it that complements the name Wake Up Frenzy. It gets dreamlike in the soft section, still kind of tying it back to that, but it doesn't fully doing it. And I also really liked the singer on this one. I like the drum fills in it.
Yeah, no, I said the drums are solid, as well as the bass work. But I just felt like, I don't know, something was holding back in the song. I couldn't really pinpoint exactly, but just something just felt, I don't know.
Well, there wasn't fully like a hook. Like when you think of the song, you just think of when they say "Wake Up Frenzy." Right. It's not really. It's not super memorable. I will agree.
Radio ending was really nice though. The like radio filter.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then we have Paper Triangle, which is just like I thought it was a good interlude. It was one of their better little like 2-minute interlude type things. No, not into it.
Well, the thing is, Paper Triangle, that drum fill is I'm pretty confident, like 99.9% confident that drum fill is the same drum fill for the old Toonami drum and bass beats.
What?
And I'm all about that. I think that's my internal beat on the inside when I think about it.
Yeah.
But again, the drums need to be higher. It needs to be higher and louder because if you're going to go for that fill, you got to fucking go for that fill.
The Toonami drum fill. All right. Well, if I can find it, I'll try to post a comparison.
Yeah. No, it's like, if you type in Toonami drum and bass beat, you'll find it.
Like old Toonami? Like... Okay, wait, but which Toonami are we talking about? Like, what robots are you looking at?
Yeah, what type? Which version of Tom?
I'm pretty sure, like, first gen Tom. Like, I'm talking about, like,
'cause that's like the old.
Yeah,
I don't even remember seeing that on TV as a child.
I remember it from dreams because that beat just stayed in my head. It's like, what was that?
Wow.
I knew it was from Toonami, but it's just really just in. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my whole bit. I mean,
that's great.
I thought everything else in the song was good. It was a nice intro into it. But yeah.
You just wanted to feel that beat in your bones.
Exactly, George.
Yeah. In terms of things that aren't that super specific thing about this song, I really like these. I like their interludes in general. Just the 2-minute, we're gonna do a thing. This was another one that it's fine to fade out on because it was effective.
Yeah, it was just sort of a nice little interlude into... I think a song preluding Brand New Love Song kind of has to fade out just because of how immediate the start of Brand New Love Song is on all fronts. So yeah, Paper Triangle is fine. What's weird about Brand New Love Song, though, at least to me, is like to hear it with lyrics, it's very jarring because obviously I'm someone who has watched Fooly Cooly multiple times. So this song's only used once in it, but when it is, you get a really long pause where it's just playing the song for a bit.
Is this track 8?
And yes, it is. And that's what's so jarring, because they take all the lyrics out of it for Fooly Cooly. But this song actually has lyrics almost nonstop. He almost never stops singing throughout the entire track. So that's what kind of really threw me off. It throws me off every time I listen to it, honestly, because I can't picture this song having lyrics in my head. And everything just feels like, I feel like everything is elevated, so it all just feels kind of overwhelming. It's not bad. It just feels really weird to listen to alone.
I did not have much love for Raisin Bran Love Song.
Raisin Bran new love song.
Yeah.
I just really, it was plotting. It was a mid-tempo ballad.
Yeah.
It was, I zoned out during this. I could not keep full focus during it. There's like a wavery guitar at some point that I was like, oh, it's an idea. I can chase the idea. That's almost an idea in the song. And then, right after they've shown me they can do a good fade out, we get a bad fade out. We get a fade out that's used without any ideas in it. I was not a fan of Brand New.
Yeah, I mean, what I thought I had going for it was the acoustic guitars were nicely placed. The drums were mixed way better. So I don't know. I thought it did its jobs like a respite from like the rest of the album. So like I think placement wise, I think it works in the album totally. So.
And then what about Midnight Down?
I was a fan of Midnight Down. I definitely thought the intro was strong, and just again like the moment you hear it, you think like, oh, this is the Pillows.
Yeah, it's definitely characteristic of them, but I didn't find it like it really left an impression. Like when I go back to this album, I kind of skip that song just because a lot of the songs are kind of longer in this album, and this one was just a little kind of a. It was sort of the same as the other around 3-minute tracks, and it didn't like leave as much impression on me as like Wake Up Frenzy.
Yeah,
that's fair. There were some things I liked about this one. I liked the drum fills in this one, and I also liked the end, but it wasn't something that like full on jumped out at me either.
No, I think Borderline Case like just kind of trumps it altogether. Like some of these albums get really repetitive, so it feels like we're rushing through it, but at the same time, with Runner's High, there's really just a couple songs pulled out that are kind of the greatest hits, which leads me to understand why some people think like, you know, the third disc for the Fooly Cooly OST is sort of like the Pillows' like greatest hits, because from those albums that they take, it's definitely the greatest hits from those 3 albums, but then it gets exaggerated. Really, it gets exaggerated as to, you know, where their other good music comes from and if that exists at all. So that's the part I hate, but I wouldn't be able to disagree about this album.
Yeah, Borderline Case. I mean, I heard like 100% the Strokes in the intro.
Oh, okay.
At least with the guitar work. Yeah, just this very long, slow build up to the actual song. And then the vocals reminded me of someone. A little KK Slider.
What? Oh yeah. Is this the one where they like make his voice sound really weird?
Yep.
Yeah, the watery, distorted-y vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I could hear. KK Slider.
I wish this was in an Animal Crossing game.
I really didn't like the just on-beat, repetitive, kind of bright-sounding guitar strokes. Just like on-beat, on-beat, on-beat. Did not like, not my favorite. Just kind of like, sometimes something gets in my head when it just like stands out from the mix and it's just on-beat and it's not doing much. It just worms its way in and it makes me not have the best time. There were other things I liked about the song, but that I did not.
Runner's High?
Runner's High is the best song on the album. I'm just going to say
it
right
now.
It? I'm just going to say it right now. There's not much else you can say. It's like, it's the one like singular anthem from this album that like you have to remember, not just from the title, but just from like the impression it leaves on you and like the way it can carry the band, like especially in their live shows too. I don't know if y'all have watched any of their live shows like on YouTube or anything, but this is the song that really gets the crowd going, and that's why I like it, because I can just imagine like actually being there with that song, and then they can drag it out a little bit because it is short, but it just works. It leaves the most impression. That and Sad Sad Kiddie.
I definitely like this. It was like Runner's High is a little ugly, but I like that about it. Like the ending of it especially is just, it gets a little ugly on purpose. What's distracting is at the very beginning, it sounds like the beginning of Hey Ricky, like the drum part is.
That's what I said. I said, Hey Mickey breakdown.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing.
Hey Ricky.
Hey Ricky, you're so fine, you're so fine.
Oh!
Hey Ricky,
it's the same thing.
Hey Ricky,
it's the exact same drum thing to start the song, and it was super jarring. It definitely took me a little bit to just like recover and like get back to listening to the song.
Recover.
Okay, all right.
This is George signing off.
Write it on a piece of paper, roll it up in a little tube, and shove it up your pee hole.
Oh my goodness gracious! I really didn't think of that at all. I don't know why. Maybe just because I've listened to it a lot and I just never made that connection. But it really does sound like that, huh? That's hilarious. Maybe it was intentional. I could see it being intentional. There's enough American references in Pillows that it could actually be intentional. And then it ends with let's see if that's true or not, which I really like. I think it definitely deserved to be as long as it is compared to the rest of the album. It's just sort of it's there. It has all those Pillows themes, that we were looking for, and pretty much every album it stamps on those themes that we keep seeing in all these Pillows albums, and that's what I like about Let's See If That's True or Not too.
Yeah, I did think though this changed the ending of the album thematically to a slower note instead of ending it with Runner's High, which I think was an interesting thing to do, that they just didn't end with like the song track that was also the album track.
Yeah, that is weird too, because if you remember at the beginning of the album, at the beginning of Sad Sad Kiddie, it gives you this weird, like, distorted a couple of lines, and those lines are actually like Silly My Future, Dizzy My Way. That's from, or Dizzy My Future, Silly My Way, whatever it is. That's like the like running couplet from Runner's High, so you'd think that they would just bookend like that, but they just continued.
Do we know if this was regular track or
I'm pretty sure this was a regular track.
That's what I wasn't sure if it was like a deluxe
or just
version.
This is one that I just kind of like. It was something that I recognized as good, but it wasn't my thing. I might have been in the wrong mood while listening to it. Might just overall not be the most in my wheelhouse thing, but it was just kind of everything about it I recognized as like, well, that's okay and that's good and that's good, but overall when I ended the song I was like, eh.
Well, that's what's weird about this album, right? Like every song is actually really different, and they try to go with like they keep you on your toes in this album where there's so much different shit going on, except for like the 3 tracks that sound kind of the same. That it adds this weird feeling by the end. I don't know what anyone else was seeing in this track, but for me it's like it's decent. It doesn't really. I think it should have ended with Runner's High. They could have switched it.
Yeah.
But
that would have also really made Runner's High like a wake up. That would have been a thing in contrasts again.
Exactly.
We want to do best worst.
Yes, I think the best and worst are Runner's High and Sad Sad Kiddie. The true bookends of the album.
As in, those are
my
best.
Yeah, the best ones, absolutely.
Yes.
Top 2.
Mine are Sad Sad Kiddie and Midnight Down. Those are the two best.
Okay.
Because again, like what Midnight Down did is that they were really using specific riffs, drum breaks, as well as like really using dynamics in a song. So yeah, that's what did it for me.
Wake Up Frenzy is one of them. Really liked that. Just everything I said before. And I really like Juliet. So that is my other second favorite. That's probably the most difference in total track. Like not all three of us share a track.
Yeah,
like
that's
we've
true.
had on past albums.
Worst?
Yeah, what was your worst ones, George?
So
if you had them.
I had them. Honestly, choosing my second worst is like I can go with. I'll go with Borderline Case, but there was a couple that were just but my least favorite is Brand New Love Song. I really didn't like it. It was not an enjoyable experience. It was not capable of keeping me there.
It barely takes a pause. Like it's always going, but it's slow, but it never pauses. There's
Stream of consciousness.
There's no breaks.
Worst for me was White Ash and Paper Triangle.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm saying.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You can be wrong. It's okay. My bottom one. I only have one on the bottom. That's Midnight Down. I'm sorry, Shem.
It's all right.
We'll fight later.
But
I don't. It didn't really leave as much of an impression on me as it did you, I guess. But even then, I don't have a second one, just because I think this album altogether is just a huge step up. Even from Little Busters. Like Little Busters is a great album, but I think where the Pillows' sound solidifies fully and really evolves from all the past albums that we've been listening to is here. So yeah, that's why I only really have one negative one. But yeah, I think we're pretty much towards the end here, so I think that about wraps it up. I'm glad everyone did enjoy this album to a point, though. I think it's interesting that we all like different tracks as well, just because it's going to get weirder and weirder as we continue with these albums.
The divergence is coming.
It really is. We're going to... Well, we'll save that for when we get to, like, 2007 and onward, because that'll be a whole different story. But all right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Nobody comes to help you forever. Sad, sad kitty, sad.